Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this free video we're going to actually kick this off with Microsoft for the main reason that we are having to contend with earnings season and dealing with a number of our indexes that are at key levels right now and whether or not they're going to continue higher or exhaust. Now, one of the questions I'm getting is, hey Rag, what could Microsoft do to the NQ if we're going to go ahead and start thinking long on the intraday time frames? Because look, that's the reality now. If there were kind of midway resistance levels, wave reversals failed. On the upper end, we're not even going to give it a whirl because look, we've got Microsoft coming and we're better off focusing on the uptrends that we see pretty clearly on those 30 and 60 minute time frames. The challenge is when Microsoft comes around, and let me show you what I mean. So you head on over to the FinViz, you type in the symbol. And why are we looking at Microsoft? Heavy weighted name within the NAS. July 20th. That means we're going to see this tomorrow after the close. So meanwhile, that means that we've got pretty clear sailing between now and then to play the NQ on pullbacks before that comes. And this is something I call a trading window. In other words, I know that there's a major catalyst coming that could abruptly shift some of the momentum and organization of this trend. So what we want to do is think about, okay, what are the alternatives to basically taking an aggressive daily short, and how about we just follow the overall trend, since every one of the levels that could have been considered resistance on the NQ is now gone. So the main thing is here, number one, we're shifting to a little bit more bullishness on NQ. And this kind of now lines up with what we're looking at already, have been on YM and ES. And let me give you guys a quick tip. This is something that I recommend you guys doing. Grab the top 25 Nasdaq names, just type them in on Notepad. Take you just a minute or two, right? Copy that, and during earnings season, make sure you head on over to the screener at FinViz. Whether you're an equities trader or whether you're an index futures trader, this is something you've got to do. So you put that in, plug it in, and then now you take a look at the earnings dates right here. So I pull up the drop-down menu, I put this week in, and in this way what I can do is see what's coming up this week. I can also see what's coming up next week. I can see what's coming up this month. But this week is the main interest. So I'll end up with 3 names this week. I'll open these up in separate windows. We know we've already got Netflix, you know. So this gives you an idea of what those more heavily weighted names can do to the underlying index you're playing. And by the way, it's going to give you insight into those equities names that could be affecting other trades within that index, right? Almost like a high tide effect. And so this is a very easy way to stay on top of that narrative and make sure you don't miss any significant earnings dates across any of the indexes that you're trading. I'll have a similar list for the Dow. Here's my list for the S&P, and I'll do the same thing. So again, what we want to do as the NAS is breaking through this upper end, brand new 52-week high on the NQ, I want to remember that I don't trust this completely. I know I have a catalyst event coming tomorrow with Microsoft. So what I can do is follow the trend on shorter term, more nimble time frames. So those are going to be the 60-minute time frames or less. We can do this with any market testing a resistance level or support level that could shift the overall market trend. CL would be another really good example, although we're short here. Okay. But if I want to look for confirmation of the short, I'll do something different here. I'll look for a wave reversal. Rather than a continuation of the trend, I'll look for a break of the trend because I'm already expecting a little bit of resistance in this area. And it's easier to be short here, gang. It's easier to be long the NAS, respect the trend that was. And it sure is easier to be short the CL with, despite the fact that the Saudis seem to be offsetting the Ecuador story in terms of the production numbers. This is an interesting place to put in that short and confirm it with a renewed intraday downtrend that we could see on a rollover on the 5-minute. And that is today's recap video, gang. I'll see you in the next update.